welcome you all on the ninth day of this induction program to this eminent institution, which is known for excellence in every single arena. Once again, we are here for an overwhelming experience with yet another honorable speaker and guest for the day. With over 25 years in hospitality industry, Mr. Firdaus Rana is an Associate Vice President, National Accounts North and West for Indian Hotels Company Limited, also known as Taj Group. Among many responsibilities, one of the key thrust areas is leading a team towards revenue maximization in Mumbai, Pune, Gujarat, Kolkata. Additionally responsible for driving business in key international markets of Australia, Scandinavia, and Middle East. He leads the corporate sales relationship with Tata Group and drives sales for specialized products like IHCL World of Privileges and Taj Experiences dining vouchers. Among varied assignments with the IHCL, Sir was also a director of sales for the flagship hotel of Taj Group, the Taj Mahal Palace, Mumbai. He has also done assignments with McKinsey and Mercer HR Consulting. Talking about his academic credentials, he was an IHM Mumbai top ranker and was selected for the ITC Welcome Group Management Training Program. Had worked there for around 4 years and then pursued and graduated from NMIMS with top 5 rank in marketing. He then had a short stint in ICICI Paints. And then the industry beckoned him to Taj in 1999, and he has been there ever since. Sir also loves to dabble in the stock market with keen passion. Sir, we are eagerly waiting to know you. We would invite you to deliver the address.
So, Tanzila, before you begin with the address, let me formally welcome Mr. Firdaus Rana to our HSNC University platform. Thank you so much, sir, for being here with us today. We were really fortunate because I know how busy you must be, and especially heading the sales of North and West of IHCL. So we do know how busy you must be, national accounts of North and West. So we do know how busy you must be. So thank you so much for being here. Why we really like to invite people with your profile is because our students learn from you. Your experience, your journey through life is what motivates our students. So the whole purpose in inviting people, of the stature like yours is that they get motivated. And especially in the last 1.5 years, when life has been really tough, especially for our students living at home, confined with families, having not experienced the pleasures of even campus life. They're all staying at home. They haven't even come to college in the last 1.5 years. It is people like you, it is people like your journey that is going to give them the way forward. So that is one more reason. So I'm so thankful, sir, that you are here today. I again apologize on the behalf of Dr. Himata Bagla, who told me to convey her sincere apologies. Just at the last moment, an urgent meeting has come up because of which she is unable to be here. She has just assumed the charge of Vice Chancellor of the HSNC University, hence her double responsibilities. So thank you once again, sir. I welcome you warmly to our forum where you have KC College, HR College students waiting to listen to you on our YouTube channel. And we are teachers who are here and also will be joining us on the Zoom channel. Thank you so much, sir. And over to you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Sinha. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
So thank you, Dr. Sinha. Thank you, Dr. Bagla. I'm pretty humbled to be in presence of people of your stature. Actually, it's people like you who actually are the fabric of the society who build the foundation blocks for our students over here. So thanks for inviting me over. Today's conversation is not just about my journey to a large extent. I thought we'll make it a little different. We have a very, very interesting brand, which is Taj, the company IHCL, which is extremely well integrated with the fabric of Mumbai, fabric of India. So we thought, let's give it a twist, especially the students. Why don't we take them through the journey of the brand? Why don't we take them through the journey of the company? And as we go along, see how it's actually transformed, and see how we can inspire them and actually going forward in their journey as they start their stepping stones of education. So what we will do is we'll go through the entire thing in a cohesive manner, and try to keep it as interactive as possible. You rightly said, Dr. Sinha, that it's been a tiring journey for the last 1.5 years. They've not been able to step out. So today's a little conversation will make them actually step into the world of magic as far as hospitality is concerned, and transform them into multiple locations and experiences what this brand has to offer. So from being a one hotel brand to multiple hotels across the world, across India, that's what the journey is going to be all about, with a little bit of personal integration as far as this entire map is concerned. So I am now going to take the liberty to share my screen. Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So it's clearly visible, right? Can we begin?
Yes, sir.
So let's embark on an exciting journey with IHCL and the Taj as the main flagship brand. We belong to the Tata Enterprise, and that's our founder. In a free enterprise, the community is not just a stakeholder. In business, it's in fact the very purpose of its existence. And these are the words which is actually followed not just by our company, but right across the Tata ethos. And as we go through the presentation, you will actually see this ethos being favorably imbibed in each of our cultures. Just a quick background of what Tata's really is. For the students across, I've put in some brands which they will really associate with. You have Titan, you have Jaguar Land Rover, Westside, even Big Basket has been recently acquired by the Tatas, and Tata Sky, Chroma, multiple brands. So as we go along the journey in terms of the Tatas, they have acquired many brands and many more to come as well. A very powerful brand indeed. And this is the Taj. In 1903, a legend was born. 16th December 1903, Taj Bombay, which you see opposite the Gateway of India, through its doors open to all its guests. On the first day, I think we had approximately about 16 guests who walked into the doors. And from then on, it's been a non-stop roller coaster ride for the brand. If you see, especially for the students across who are watching this, our hotel is actually older than the Gateway of India. The Gateway of India was built in 1911, as you can see. So the monument of the Gateway of India, which is really representing the fabric of Mumbai, is right opposite our hotel, and it's a late entrant. So in a manner of speaking, the Taj Bombay has an earlier precedent than the Gateway of India. We've also hosted some of the extremely important people. So we have kings, we have the Dalai Lama. Recently, we had Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie, Tom Cruise. So it's a multiple of celebrities who actually come and stay in our hotels. And that's what really makes it extremely popular across India and across the world. And that's what it really makes it iconic. So let's talk a little bit more about what this brand is all about. So since most of y'all couldn't really go out to our hotels, we thought we'll get the hotels into your dining, into your halls, into your homes. And hopefully y'all will be able to, as unlock happens, visit some of our beautiful hotels. So it is really, the journey actually started in 1903, and then over a period of time, what really, as a brand, it started to grow. The next hotel came after a very, very long time. I think in the year, I think 1970 odd, we got our next hotel in Rajasthan. And from then on, we've actually started creating destinations. So we've created Goa as a destination, Kerala as a destination, Rajasthan as a destination, and our recent endeavor has actually gone across to Andamans. Now, Andamans is a very, very interesting concept, which is extremely eco-friendly. We don't have any kind of plastic in that hotel. So we've also evolved as far as, just like everybody evolves, even the brand evolves to a large extent, keeping in mind the community's requirement. So today's community does require a lot of biodiversity, a lot of environment. So we've actually kept those things in mind when we've done the Andaman property. This is just some of our statistics across about 100 odd locations, 200 odd hotels, 12 countries, 4 continents. So predominantly an Indian chain, predominantly a Southeast Asian chain, but a lot of presence across the globe as well. This is a very interesting slide because, and I'll run through it in about 5 minutes. You must have seen the clips. So we have multiple brands in our entire IHCL Indian Hotels brandscape. The first and the most important brand, of course, is the Taj brand, where all our iconic hotels are really situated. So you talk about Taj Bombay, Taj Mahal Delhi, Taj West End, etc. The philosophy over here was we started off with one brand, then we moved across to multiple brands. Then over a period of time, we decided to consolidate that back again to a single brand. And now we've become a house of brands. As many of you students will actually undergo marketing in different careers or in different spheres of your life, there's a lot to learn as far as marketing is concerned, how you brand, And Taj IHCL is a classic example of how you go forward, not to harm the mothership brand, at the same time penetrate into multiple markets. I won't give you too much of gyan on this because there's a diversity of students who may not relate to that. But the idea is to expand your portfolio in such a way that you penetrate virtually every nook and corner of the hospitality segment to grow and to become integrated with the day-to-day life as well. So you have something which is known as cumin, and we'll cover that a little later. You have the ginger brand, the expressions. We'll talk about it in 2 or 3 minutes as we go forward. But this is our entire brandscape. So what really is it? Taj is really authentic. Taj is iconic. We really have the Indian traditions right across. So wherever you see the word Taj, it is pretty much the iconic, authentic experience which a guest will actually feel. We have a different brand, which is the Selections brand. We came up with that about 4 years ago, where we said, let's talk about hotels which are really iconic in their own stature. So you talk about a President in Bombay or a Blue Diamond in Pune. They are recognized by their name. So we basketed all these very well recognized hotels under one basket, and that was known as Selections. This is literally for the youngsters who are actually quickly traveling. These are the young CEOs, 30, 35, in the 30, 35 range. They want a little bit of style in the properties, a different persona. They want quick services. They want cutting edge technology. The designs need to be a little more classy. So that's how we've basketed all the Vivantas together. We also have Ginger, which is really a mid-market budget hotel. When we started it off in 2002 or 2003, it used to be priced at 999 rupees for any room across. The footprint has actually grown, and today we have 2 brands within the Ginger brand as well, which is also the Lean Luxe brand, which caters to a different segment of people who are on the run. The Expressions brand, in a manner of speaking, really houses all our F&B brands. It houses the Jiva Spa, the Salon, which is new and now, the Ama, which is really a bungalow concept, and also Cumin, which is a food delivery service platform. So we've introduced Ama about 3 years ago in our portfolio. Amas are actually residential bungalows which have been leased out to the Taj or to IHCL. And you can rent out the entire bungalow for your stay with your family or with your friends. This became extremely popular during the lockdown period, whereby people used to spend lots of time in our Ama bungalows, isolating themselves at the same time, working or having a good holiday right from in a very safe and secure environment. So that's really the Ama. It's really the bungalow is yours. You rent the entire thing by the bungalow. That's our food delivery service platform, again introduced during the lockdown period, whereby this concept came along, whereby we could not actually keep our restaurants open. So what do? If people can't come to our iconic restaurants like Golden Dragon, Thai Pavilion, we said, let's evolve. Let's take our restaurants back to the people. Let's take it to their dining halls. Let's take it to their homes, and let them experience the authenticity, the luxury of food as in their own ambience. So that's how the Cumin was born. And now it's in, I think, about 15 odd locations across the country and doing extremely well. Taj Sats is another brand which initially just started off with airline catering. But over a period of time, this has also evolved, and it is doing hospitality as far as branded chocolates are concerned, branded hampers are concerned. So it has actually evolved its brand just from serving cuisines in airlines to now serving cuisines in multiple institutions, as well as Asadi, the chocolate brand, which has recently been launched. I was in the Reliance Mall yesterday, and Reliance Mall also has this brand of chocolates, which is from Taj Sats. Safaris. This is a very, very interesting concept. We have 5 safari lodges, 4 in India, in Madhya Pradesh, and 1 in Chitwan in Nepal. Very quaint little properties, just about 10 to 15 rooms in that there. And the most important thing is the commune with nature. So we have a naturalist who actually takes you all across the entire forest, talks about the flora and the fauna, gives you a little more education about the locals over there itself. And if you manage to see, and these are all tiger reserves, so if you manage to see a tiger, it's a bonus. But even without the tiger sighting, it's really a journey which one must undertake in order to experience the jungle in its true form. 5 of them, as we spoke, each of them is absolutely unique and individual. So while you have Pashangar, which is really the stone kind of a lodge, you have Banjar Tola, which is really tents, and you have Pench Bagwan, which are really the Machan kind of accommodations, and Maua Koti is really all about the flora and the flowers over there. And the Taj Meghalaya Sarai in Chitwan is a sanctuary which is very, very famous for its animals, including the rhino and the elephant. That's an actual picture shot from the hotel itself, where you can see the elephant, and they actually even walk right across to the hotel. We have a little bit of fencing to keep them away so that the guests are not further disturbed. Very, very strong portfolio as far as authentic palaces are concerned. So these are palaces where royalty has lived in, Indian royalty have actually lived in. And this one really is the Umaid Bhavan Palace, which is actually today the largest residential palace in the world, where Maharaja of Jodhpur actually stays in one part of this particular hotel. So let me just quickly transport you all into a royal living.
There is a life designed for the kings. A life from the time we only know legends of. A time when palaces weren't built on reason, but sculpted on a whim. When luxury wasn't manufactured for the few, it was handcrafted for the one. A time when every inch was carved and sewn to unravel the senses. Here, suites of the world's most beautiful Maharanis and Maharajas tell untold tales of their life and time. Welcome to the living palaces of Taj. Welcome to luxury crafted by time. Wander through stories of love and valor, and let your discerning mind sail across 4 centuries. Where a dinner seems to be slow cooked for hundreds of years. Let your soul be spellbound by your spiritual days. Feast where praises echo effortlessly from one end to the other. Can you hear me over there? Your every moment is set in traditions as old as time. And many lifetimes seem to be rolled into this one. As your stay gracefully strolls along, you'll find that time has lost its effect on you. Yesterday is today, is tomorrow. The living palaces of Taj. Luxury crafted by time.
So it's very, very clear that one thing which cannot be replicated in the hospitality industry really is heritage. It's history. And all these palaces really have huge amount of history with them. And whenever somebody goes actually and stays over there, first of all, they are treated like royalty. And we've got the royal palace experience now into your homes. That really was the idea, to really inspire each of you guys to just understand what royalty really is in this particular case. And whenever anyone goes to the palaces over there, you are treated as royalty. Each of these has a very, very different history. So Umaid Bhawan Palace was actually built by the Maharajas during that time because they wanted to create employment for those people who were in Jodhpur at that point of time. Jodhpur was hit by a huge famine. So what the Maharaja actually decided at that point of time, Rajputs are extremely self-respecting people. They are proud people. They will not take arms from the king at that point of time. So the king really said that they will not take arms, so let me create a little bit of employment for them. So he actually made these employees, he engaged with them, and they built the palace so that they could actually get employment. So that was the history as far as Umaid Bhawan, Jodhpur was concerned. So that's the palaces. After that, we also, during the lockdown to a very large extent, and even before that, we engaged into hospitality at home. Now, what really is hospitality at home to this? It's a kind of a thing whereby we actually organized events which were earlier held in hotels, but in the homes of people. So tomorrow, if an ICICI bank wanted to hold a conference, earlier they used to come across to our hotel and have it. But in the lockdown period, they could not. So we actually catered food to each of these 50, 100 participants in their homes. They could go on a Zoom call like this one, listen to the lecture or listen to the presentation at that point of time. And at the same time, have a lovely Taj cooked meal at their homes itself. So that was really the concept. It was really bringing hospitality to your homes. Very large component of festivities. We have multiple products. So you have hampers, nothing much more to explain about them. We'll come to unique celebrations a little later. It really talks about revival of vows. It talks about actually grand proposals, marriage functions, engagement functions, not just in the palaces, but right across all our resort hotels. So there's a very, very interesting concept which over a period of time Taj has evolved into, which is known as intimate weddings. So weddings is a very, very large and integral part of our brand. It's extremely, extremely popular with a lot of people because the kind of destinations which we have to offer are quite sensational, whether it's palaces, whether it's hill stations, it's beach resorts. It's something which is curated for every single bride and groom who actually comes into the hotel. We engage a lot on social media. We engage a lot on integrated marketing approaches. A lot of collateral is there. And the idea is to keep everybody and on that platform engaged to a large extent. So let me just share a small little clip in terms of what Timeless Weddings is all about. It's the journey of the bride and the groom, as we call it. So this was actually a brand which was created quite some time ago and extremely well integrated now with our entire brandscapes. We ensure that whichever kind of destination is selected by the bride and groom, whether it's an engagement or whether it's the actual wedding, they are made to feel extremely special and unique whenever they are, because at the end of the day, that is really the most special day in anyone's life. Taj Holidays is an experiential platform. So we curate a lot of holidays for people who actually go. These are the backwaters of Kerala, whether it's the beaches of Goa or the mountains of Kurg, or places like Rishikesh and Haridwar, which have actually come into the fold, or you go across to Srinagar. Very different kind of experiences in each of these locations. And I'll just give you a little sense. And the idea is also to keep them our audience extremely engaged. So we have, whether it's for the family, it's an integrated family package, a romantic rendezvous just for a couple, or really we're talking about somebody who just wants to pamper themselves as far as spa is concerned. We really take a lot of effort in order to be present on social media and actually engage with the people. So this was last year in the lockdown, we came across with about a 10-second clip. It was playing on social media and it was very, very well received. That was for the beach properties and something for the backwaters. So we had about 5 or 6 series of these kind of Taj holidays, which is really targeted at the younger audience. It was there on Instagram, it was there on multiple other social platforms. Just about these 5 seconds, and they used to rotate over there. And we had a huge amount of feedback on this particular campaign, which we ran last year. Again, it adds a lot to the entire. Continuing with multiple other products, which is there on offer, we have experience gift cards. So a lot of gifting, which is possible. These are aspirational giftings, which can happen. So there's a Taj Experience gift card. There's a Taj Experience dining voucher on a B2B platform, which is there. This is an individual card, which is an Epicure card, which gives you a host of benefits, including about 25% discount on food and beverages whenever person presents this card and dines in some of our restaurants. The idea was to actually incentivize people to come back to the hotels and have meals at the hotels itself. That's how really the cards look like. For all the students over here, we have an entire social media cell which really looks after Taj Live. That's Taj Live. It's a command center. So anything posted on social media, anything posted in the new age space, to a large extent gets recorded, and each of the customer complaints, customer suggestions are viewed by this particular cell. Then passed on to the relevant departments, relevant divisions. And the idea is actually it's a 360-degree kind of a thing. So it's really customer voice, which is really captured over here. And when this customer voice is captured and acted upon, there's a lot of engagement which goes back and forth between the end client who's actually writing this and what they really want. A lot of suggestions come in, a lot of them are implemented. So it's really a live conversation which happens on the social media platform in this command center. Very, very engaging. And in today's day and age, the customer really needs to be engaged. And that's what Taj has done. So it's evolved from a brick and mortar kind of a brand into something which is new age and something which all the students today can really relate with. Taj or IHCL is also extremely big on CSR, and just like the Tatas, we give back to the community to a very, very large extent in multiple ways, and Taj stroke IHCL is no exception, and participates in a lot of activities as far as CSR is concerned. I'll just quickly go to the next one. It's really The vision of our leader was in a community, it is the existence of a corporate is not just the existence, but pretty much the fabric of the integration. So it really demonstrates care in the environment. We give back to the environment in many possible ways. Our brand really is the Pathya brand in CSR. It's literally HELP, as we call it, heritage, HE, environment, L is livelihood, and P is public welfare trust. When we're talking about heritage, and that's what Pathya really is, it's our CSR brand. When we talk about environment, we definitely preserve a lot of environment wherever we are. We have 25% energy which comes from wind and solar. All our hotels really have water and usage recycling facilities. In terms of livelihood, we actually we do a lot of, when we promote livelihood, we have 14 skill centers across the country. We have trained about approximately 8,500 odd students, placed them in multiple organizations. So the idea really is to support the community in which we really are. For example, Banarasi weaving and handicrafts. So we have Banarasi weaving saris. The artist of Banaras actually weaves saris. And a few years ago, all the people, all the front office staff in Taj Bombay used to only wear these kind of saris. And finally, the Taj Public Welfare Trust. This was really initiated during the 2008 attacks. And after that, while we supported people who lost their livelihood, who lost their lives in that particular attack, over a period of time, we are actually supporting funds which we raise through armed service people, through people who have been affected with natural disaster. And during the COVID times, a lot of support has come from we've raised a lot of money and supported a lot of activities during this COVID times as well. We'll just quickly touch across over there. Already spoken about this. During the terror victims, it was there. And then after that, we have rehabilitated many things. During the pandemic, IHCL has actually given about 4.5 million meals to all health workers and migrant workers across. So in this pandemic time, we catered to these kind of people, and we actually reached out across to various hotels. And we also had the staff of those hotels stay with us. So that was an initiative which was there during this 1.5 years of lockdown. So let me just play this. It's a very interesting CSR video, which we actually share with our clients in terms of what really happened during this pandemic period.
I haven't been home for the past 4 weeks, but my family and colleagues are secure that I have a place to call my own, at least until the pandemic ends. Thank you for caring for frontline soldiers in this war. We really appreciate it, and it helps us to do our duties with even more passion. Thank you.
आम्हाला काय हवं काय नको यात आत्मीयतेने लक्ष घातलं. आम्ही हॉस्पिटलमध्ये कामाला आहोत. आमचा आहार कसा हवा, आम्हाला कोणत्या गोष्टीची गरज आहे, असे जाणीवपूर्वक त्यांनी प्रत्येक गोष्ट आम्हाला दिलेली आहे. आमच्या राहण्यापासून ते खाण्यापर्यंतच्या प्रत्येक गोष्टीमध्ये ताजने आम्हाला साथ दिली.
So from a brand which makes money to a brand with heart, to a brand with community service, that's what really is all about this particular brand as well. It transgresses right from while you make money. It also supports back the community whenever the community requires it. So that's the hallmark of a very, very important and very intense brand. We've really spoken about the entire landscape. So as we mentioned earlier, we were just one hotel brand. So hotels was really the core. But now as we grow, as the journey embarks and as we spread our wings, it's not just about hotels, it's about Jiva Spa. So we have the Jiva Spa is a range of spas across. Khazana is really where all the little bit of mementos are sold. We have the Banarasi saris. It's a little bit of the shopping part over there. Chambers is a private club. The F&B concepts really, we have Seven Rivers, which is a microbrewery concept. We have branded products like Golden Dragon, etc. over here. Taj Air Catering, we already spoke about. Near now is our salon. And Ama Stays and Trails, which is our bungalow concept of private and secluded living. So all this entire ecosystem has evolved over a period of time along with this brand. And this is what really our differentiators. I won't go too much into this detail over here. So we have multiple differentiators, and because of these differentiators, because of the perception, Taj has been rated by Brand Finance Hotel Report as the strongest brand in the world last year. So it is a tribute to the entire brand in terms of hotels across the world, and it is beaten hotel companies like Four Seasons, Shangri-La, etc., as voted as Taj's number world brand. And that's really the brand journey. It's not just about the hotels, it's the entire ethos, which is really the inspiring part, and we wanted to share with you right through the presentation. It's not just the brick and mortar, it's the entire fabric. We are talking about the CSR activities, we are talking about the brandscape, we're talking about the environment. At the same time, we are also talking about the food. We are talking about the experiences, whether it's a palace experience, which is royalty, or whether it's a fun experience by the beach, or you want a chilled, peaceful life with the amas, or you just want to go to a hill station and relax. The Taj has really all this to offer. And when you combine everything what we've just seen, it's pretty inspirational to say that it is the world's strongest brand in the hospitality sector, voted by the Brand Finance Hotel Report. So what does this really mean? The journey as far as the students across really is concerned, and this is a little message I want to leave behind before I wind up the conversation, is currently today, all of you are in the learning phase. So it's literally your classroom, your social interactions, your skill development. That's the platform which you are currently on. And this is really your foundation platform. Your formative years, extremely important. And that's what colleges like KC, HR, extremely well-reputed college, they give you a huge amount of platform to actually learn. And it's not just the classroom learning. There is a lot of focus, which is really each of you should really be taking in terms of interaction, in terms of skill development, participating in extracurricular activities, because all this forms a part of your learning. Once this foundation really is right, you move on to the next step in any organization or even on your own, is really the evolving concept. It's after college, in your very, very early stages of your life, you really start evolving. You experiment. You look at things in a different way. You say, I like this. Oh, I don't like this job. Let me switch. This is all about experimenting, exploring. You will see that you will seek alternatives before you actually start settling down. And that's the time when the as we call it, the role is really an individual role to a large extent. You are more or less individually. It's all about the individual at that point of time. As you go on over a period of time, and the way to relate it is I spent a lot of time in educating myself, did a lot of education. Before I experimented, I did a job with ITC, I did a job with ICI Paints, before I actually settled down with IHCL or Taj, as we say. Then we move into the consolidation phase, which is really a steady phase, whereby you start now whatever learnings you have developed in your formative years, plus in your job role, etc. you start implementing those. So that's really the steady phase. That's where you actually start contributing to yourself, to the organization. You start growing, and your role now becomes from an individual level to a leadership role. So you actually start leading people, you start influencing people to a large extent in that case. And then finally, as the organization or as a person enters into the final phase of life, in a manner of speaking, when he gets a little more evolved, it's all about resetting your goal objectives. You reimagine, you actually re-engineer what you're doing, you restructure your thoughts in that case, and your role now becomes a mentoring role in a kind of speaking. So you see a lot of these evolved leaders. You must have had a lot of evolved leaders already speak to you. Mr. Hiranandani, etc., Mr. Tandon, they must have really spoken to you about the mentoring part of it, how they actually start mentoring people. And that's really what the entire phase is all about. But right through and through this entire journey, there are 3 or 4 things you must understand. One is you need to be adaptable, extremely flexible, and embrace change as it comes along. And also remember one thing, and I think I just read something about what Mr. Ratan Tata said the other day, is balance. So there has to be a very, very healthy mix of balance between work and life actually. So your own life as well as work life. And throughout you'll see whether it's in the learning phase, the consolidation phase, or even in the reset phase, this balance is extremely important, because there's no point in overstressing yourself if you cannot appreciate the small nuances of nature. And that's what we really need to understand is flexibility, adaptability, embrace change, at the same time ensure a healthy, in your case, study life balance. And finally, I would like to end with this. One of the reasons why I'm ending with this is because in this period of pandemic, there was a lot of stress as far as every organization is concerned, and so was the hospitality. But we actually ensured that we send a very, very strong message back to our people who actually want to stay with us. And this has also contributed to us being as the world's #1 brand in hospitality. This is really a commitment, and it's a re-strengthened commitment, which we are offering to our guests. So this is a brand which is adapted, and I hope you found the story and this is for every student over here who's listening to this. Very, very powerful quote. I never dreamed about success. I worked for it. And I wish all of you all the very best in your journey with life. Dream, but don't dream about success. Work towards success, and that's the way to be. And I'm sure your professors, Dr. Sinha, Dr. Bagla, they are pioneers in this, and they will actually ensure that your success and ladder to life is the cornerstone in the education which they provide. So with this, it's a wrap from my end. And thank you very much for being a patient audience. As usual, it's extremely invigorating to talk to students, though I can't see any one of y'all. I believe I'm addressing a large amount of students. And I hope this little journey of the Taj brand or the IHCL brand was inspiring enough for you all to actually walk out of your drawing rooms and enter into the life of hospitality and take the essence of the brand to a large extent, implement it in your lives in terms of ever evolving, ever changing, and walking to the ladder of success. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. It was indeed a wonderful journey of Taj Group, and it was absolutely mesmerizing to see that. Now we move on to the Q&A session. And there are a couple of questions, sir, which our students would like to ask you. Our student says, does branding and advertisement play an important role for profit, or the brand value of the Taj does not make it much necessary?
So branding is a very, very interesting exercise which is taken by brand gurus. But everything basic, what really is a brand? Brand is something what you associate with, okay? So whether it's advertising, whether it's all brand, this is all a part of the marketing itself over here to a large extent. All this contributes to the brand. But it's not really the cosmetic part which really contributes to really the ethos or the fundamental foundation of a brand. It's really how it's integrated with the community, as we can really see. So all large brands across the world are not just built on advertising. All large brands are built over a period of time with the kind of integration it has with its customers. Customer speak is extremely, extremely important. And that's what something, though it didn't come out over here, we are extremely customer focused. We always do a 360 degrees as far as customers are concerned. So that's really the cornerstone to a large extent, and the community. So it's the customers within, that's the employee, the customers external are the people who are coming to you, plus all the stakeholders within the community. So whether it's really your vendors, whether it's the community at large, all this contributes in order to making a brand a very, very successful brand. Marketing, advertising, all this is just a small part of this entire journey. And you can really see it's not just the advertisement or the social media cover, which IHCL or Taj does. It's really the journey of Pathya. It's really the journey of the social service, which really strengthens the brand.
Okay, thank you, sir. So one of our students is saying, how would you like to handle your business and manage the services during COVID-19? And what were the hindrances that you faced during this ongoing pandemic situation?
Oh, massive amount. So there was a time actually when our business was pretty much zero. So since there were no guests who used to come into the hotels, there was no stay, there was no revenue as far as accommodation is concerned. Since the restaurants were shut, there was no revenue as far as F&B was concerned. Since events were not happening, there was no revenue as far as banquets was concerned. So yes, you really need to innovate, you need to think on your feet. And that's where these two products really came into the picture. One was the Ama brand and one was the Cumin brand. So the Ama brand really was bungalows where people could go, and that was really popular once the lockdown got over. People would just go stay in these bungalows, lock themselves because they were just that family over there. And it was extremely popular at that point of time over there. And then the Cumin. So Cumin was a service delivery platform, as I mentioned to you. If the guests cannot come to our hotels to experience the fine dining cuisines of the Taj, let's get the Taj cuisines into your bedrooms, into your living rooms, into your dining rooms. So you could order from these iconic restaurants. We also thought there's a lot of contemplation, should we go with Swiggy, should we go with Zomato? But then we said, no, let's build a brand, a technology platform, and that's how Cumin was there. Cumin is curated quality cuisine. So we built that brand in a manner of speaking in I think it was in the month of June of last year where we actually introduced this brand. It took a little time to roll off, but now it's extremely popular. You can order cuisines in your respective pin codes, pin zones, etc. From this particular app, and extremely well priced and aggressively as well. So the comforts of your home, the promise of hygiene, safety, and sanitized food, as well as an exciting array of a la carte dishes. So that's how we actually innovated. We also ensured that we kept our doors open as far as the medical fraternity was concerned. So with a diversity, sorry, with a little bit of disadvantages was there, other businesses started coming in. So there was mobilization business where people wanted to stay, and during quarantine period, you have to stay in a hotel for 7 days. That's how a little bit of business happened. So yes, they were challenging times. And as we grew a little more and the lockdown opened, while business hotels really suffered, our leisure hotels did really, really well. So everybody wanted to go on a holiday. This was what is known as revenge tourism. Everyone wanted to go on a holiday, and our resort hotels started getting full up. So in adversity is an opportunity. So the adversity was COVID. The opportunity were these three particular things, including business and resort hotels.
Okay, thank you, sir. Sir, one of our students asked that what can a BMS student do to make a hospitality industry?
Actually, why just a BMS student? Any student can make a career in hospitality. It's really all about your own will to actually succeed in this. There are courses which the organization has. These are known as management trainee courses to a large extent. You don't have to be a hotel management graduate. You don't have to be really a business graduate. There's a lot of on-ground teaching which happens. It's a structured 2-year course in the field in which you want. So there are fields of the hardcore operation fields like front office, food and beverage, culinary. And at the same time, they also teach you to become managers of the future, to become general managers of hotels. General managers of hotels are really CEOs of their own hotel. So they have a profit and loss and various other things. And as you grow over there, the foundation course is really taught at the institute itself. There's a very, very robust foundation course over there. So once you are a graduate, I'm sure you can apply to the Taj, and you can embark on a great, exciting career journey with us.
Okay, so there are also questions with respect to the recruitment process and the openings that IHCL can give to our graduates.
So we have an entire HR division, as I mentioned. Part of it I've already covered over here. There's an entire HR division which manages new recruits, either from MBA colleges or from actually IHM colleges, which is Institute of Hotel Management colleges, or even we've had cases whereby graduates have actually come, and graduates have actually gone into marketing. Graduates have gone into the social media platform kind of a sphere. So today's day and age, as far as hotels are concerned, earlier it was just the brick and mortar food and beverage, cuisine, culinary cuisine, housekeeping. Those really were the recruits which we used to. But now we have social media, we have the digital platform, we have advertising, we have marketing. So a lot of new age technology which has crept in right now. We recruit directly as well, and we recruit trainees for that as well. So as I mentioned, there's an entire management training program which is there. And some of the management trainees also get exposure to these little fields which you've spoken about and what you have seen over here.
So also there have been a question from a student asking what factors played an important role in successful journey of your life?
So what factors played an important role? Yeah. So there are 2 or 3 things which you need to, which every student really should imbibe over here. Is one thing is be true to yourself. Be passionate in what you do, and do what you can do to the best of your abilities. if you are really true to yourself and if you give it to your 100%, of course, there is something known as ability and there is something known as execution. So you should have the ability to execute and you should be able to execute. But more than the ability, it's the attitude and the passion which you get onto the job. Even today, as we recruit, and it's a good point which somebody has raised over here, is today we don't recruit on ability. We recruit on attitude. So if you have a right attitude, and I would say if you have the right attitude, in our case, I'm sure we had the right attitude. We managed to climb the ladder of success in this case. And that's a very important thing. Plus also when you grow with the organization also takes care of you in a manner of speaking. So there are multiple opportunities which come across. Try and grab as many as you can, not just the ones which really come across you, but try and create your own opportunities, create your own little roadmap, go back, show a little bit of exuberance. If some of you watch Friends, you have Monica, who's the most exuberant one of them, who raises a hand right across for everything. Don't be a Monica, be a little more passive Monica in that case, but ensure that you grab any opportunity which comes across in that case, and a never say no attitude. I think that's pretty much the success and the recipe of success.
Any advice to our students for going ahead and maybe working and getting into such big brands?
No, so no real advice, because I'm surrounded with the doctors of the world, so the Dr. Sinhas of the world and the Dr. Baglas of the world, and have many more advices which are far more relevant to students across over here in this case. But I'll just stick to one thing, is basically have the right attitude. If you have the right attitude, success will come knocking at your doorsteps.
Thank you very much, sir, for this wonderful advice of having a right attitude throughout. So with this, I would like to invite Dr. Ritika Pathak, Head of Department of BAF, BBI, BFM, BMS, to our vote of thanks.
Thank you so much, Tanzila. At the outset, sincere gratitude to Mr. Firdaus Rana for making it us with here out of your taking out time from your busy schedule and addressing our students, and totally opening a new world of hospitality for them and explaining to them what opportunities that they can have in this industry, and also explaining the importance of compassion, which of course the brand themselves carry with them, and the importance of ethics for every individual, whether you're a brand or a company or an individual itself. And of course, your quote, which makes a lot of difference for students, where you mentioned about, I never dreamed about success, but I worked for it, which in today's time, of course, is a very, very important lesson for students. So thank you, Mr. Rana. Very, very humbled and grateful that you could come here today and explain and share your journey with the students. I would also like to thank our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. Bagla, Principal of KC College, to organize such sessions for the students and spare out time. Also, I would like to thank the Principal of HR College, Dr. Pooja Ramchandani, and Dr. Balani of PTTC. I would also like to extend my sincere gratitude to the vice principals of both the colleges, especially Dr. Shalini Sinha, for always being there and motivating us and the students and organizing such wonderful sessions for the students. The teachers of both KC, HR, and BTTC, and of course, last but not the least, our students and parents for taking our time coming here and listening to all the speakers, and of course getting involved by asking questions. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Tanzila. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for attending today's session. Thank you, Mr. Rana.
Thank you so much, Mr. Rana, and thank you for giving the English language a new word, Tajness. It is so wonderful to hear. It actually encapsulates all that is, the values of the Tata brand, the Taj Group. We've heard it, especially after the terrorist attack, we've heard so much about it. So thank you so much for that wonderful presentation and for showing the students that there are so many avenues in front of them. So thank you. And we would like to, be associated with you again, in the future too. So thank you so much. Bye-bye. Wish you a great day.
Thank you, Dr. Bhatta. Thank you, Tazila. Thank you, everyone. Thanks, students. Bye-bye.
Thank you.